Hello there folks, and how is it going? And welcome back to another video, and welcome to the absolutely beautiful location that is Óbidos Lagoon. Now, we were driving around having a nice time, all is well. Kind of knew we wanted to visit here, but then as we were driving past, we saw all of this absolute loveliness and thought, this has to be the place that we stop and take some photographs. Now it is just 7 o'clock, so it's just 5 to 7. So we've got maybe about 40 minutes or so before the sun sets. Thankfully, it was like insanely windy. If you watched last week's video, you would have seen the fog and everything. That was all here earlier, so thankfully it's all lifted and it's moved on. So the aim of the game is to do two things in this week's video. I want to try again at doing some fine art photography where I, take pictures of the boats. I'm gonna take long exposure images to cool out the water, take pictures for the boats themselves, and then try get rid of the horizon and all of that kind of stuff. We will see if it actually works. But then other than that, then I just want to take advantage of the fact that everything's so beautifully side lit at the moment and the sun is setting so wonderfully. And it is just an absolutely gorgeous scene. So there's lots of boats. If you want to pan around there, Senior Spielbergo, there's loads of boats. So there are tons and tons of opportunities we can take advantage of to take some nice photographs. And then there's also the tide will come in a small bit. And then there's these stumps in the sand are here, and we can also try and photograph those as well. So for my first composition, there's a beautiful post that has a lovely green rope that leads out to this boat out here, and I am going to photograph that first and foremost. So let's set up our gear, let's get shooting, and let's see how we get on. Yay! So I have taken one photograph right now at a much faster shutter speed. There's no filters on there, but right now I'm taking a 30-second exposure. So the idea will be that I kind of blend the two of them together and I hope that it actually turns into something that's usable. You know me in Photoshop, I'm not the best at it at all, but the light nonetheless is absolutely gorgeous. So, but this boat, what are you doing? Oh, he's gone again. Even looking at the back of the preview there is quite nice. So look, I'll save the ramble. If this picture turns out to be any good, fine arty or not, I will pop it up on the screen for you right now. Let's have a look. Welcome friends to the ASMR Photography Studio, and welcome to the first image in this week's video. Now, my fine art attempts, I don't know what to think about it at all. Trying to use the trackpad on the laptop made it a bit more difficult. But I actually really like this as the kind of base frame that I used. And I don't know, it still kind of has a bit of a fine arty vibe, even though the kind of horizon is still there. And I actually really like the fact that the boat is blurred out. I just really like it. It's simple, it's clean, it's very easy going kind of shot. So super duper happy with how this one turned out. Now, I'm moving on to the next one. The higher shutter speed of the boat, I just simply couldn't blend well enough to make it look any good. It was like complete garbage, a dumpster fire, I would go so far as to say. So I ended up just deleting everything out of the frame and just using the post and then the rope that seemingly leads to nowhere. And I'm really happy with this result. I find it really simple, very clean. Now look, the blending of the horizon, if you watched the kind of fine art photography video I did in Dublin, removing like land has proven to be a bit of a challenge for me. Whatever about trying to blend clouds and like sea, but the land itself has proven to be a bit of a challenge, so that's why it's just a bit crap. But other than that, I'm very, very happy. It's nice and sharp and very vibrant other than that, but a good start to a wonderful, wonderful evening. So onwards we shall go, my friends. So we have moved on to another composition now that I absolutely really, really love. Have you ever seen those kind of posters that are like, you know, they're mass produced kind of prints? And there's one of like Thailand where it's got like the jetty post thing, and it's got the ribbons that go off onto the beautiful boats that Thailand are kind of, you know, is known for. And I'm really kind of getting those kind of vibes off of this now. It's obviously not a tropical island, but I'm loving the fact that I'm using this post here as like a main foreground element, and then we're leading out into all these boats. I'm actually shooting this now at 16 mil, so it's quite wide. But the issue is, every so often the wind just happened there when I was in the middle of taking one picture, because the boats all just are, hey, I'm off now, I'll see you. They all just are floating out of the frame. So we're going to just wait, we're going to stay calm, and then we're going to see if we can find a bit of a break in the wind. Like, say, I'm afraid to say right now, no, you see? So we have to wait. So anyways, we shall wait. We've probably got maybe about another 15 minutes or so before that sun goes behind that hill, and we will lose this light. So if this particular image turns out to be any good, I'm going to pop it up on the screen for you right now. So here is the result of that image that I was talking about. Very, very happy with how this particular one turned out. First of all, I absolutely adore the golden light that's streaming in from the right hand side of the frame, and it's just this gorgeous gradient that just travels across into that deep blue. Super duper happy with how that turned out. Now the post, of course, I really, really love. It looks great. The rope looks really, really great, full of character. The boat, again, like the previous one, I tried to blend a faster shutter speed in, but it was terrible. But then in retrospect, as I'm sitting here looking at it right now, I actually really like the kind of imperfection of it, and the fact that it is blurred, and for me adds a very nice aesthetic to the overall frame. I obviously process this very kind of painterly and very vibrant, and I really, really like that about this image. The only thing that I don't like is that tire that's wrapped around the base of the post. I tried to get rid of it, but again, it just looked terrible, and I was like, just leave it in. It's just part of the thing. It's just there. It's fine. So overall, very, very happy with how this particular one turned out for sure. Case. They're awesome. Not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored. And I use my t-shirt to clean them. Don't do that, folks. Don't do that. I have no lens cloths. The end. Do you know that kind of way? So the sun is pretty much going to go now in just a second, but I found this very, very nice frame, not worrying about any kind of ropes or anything. I've just got this beautiful curve of the lake as it brings us towards the sun, and the boats meandering their way on the water. But I have to be so fast because the sun is going to be gone now in just a second. So I'm actually shooting bracketed, just because I want to make sure I can capture all of this dynamic range, because I'm pretty much looking into the sun. I've got a high f-stop because I want to see if I can do like one of those nice kind of sun flare things, and then the shutter speed's at maybe 1/13, but that's bracketed, so it doesn't necessarily really matter. But anyways, that was a mad ramble. If this image turns out to be any good, I'm gonna pop it up on the screen for you right now. So as far as sunbursty kind of images go, I really like how this one turned out. I adore the golden light that's in this frame, and of course that sweeping beach that brings us all the way around as it hugs us into the water. Really delighted with how this one turned out. I absolutely love the colour and the vibrancy in the frame, and then the stillness of the water. It really was just fantastic. This is a bracketed shot, as I mentioned, so I just blended the 3 shots together and kind of created this image that we are looking at right now. Now, one thing that I didn't mention, and you would have seen from Orla's awesome b-roll, is this particular scene with the boat that's moored up on the sand. It's a kind of a very simple, kind of classic, hey, here's a boat in the foreground kind of picture and a lovely sunset in the background, but off the cuff kind of shot. Really like how it turned out. Super duper glad that I took the image, and just tells a nicer story of the overall place that we are in. And that's one thing that for me, I suppose, has become very important for me when it comes to taking these photographs. So super duper delighted with how this one turned out as well. So I'm changing to my mid-range 28 to 75, just to try and capture a last bit of the light. Just some lovely golden light on the water here. Oh my god! And I'm going to see if I can capture that one boat out there on it. Let's have a look. Now, finally.
What was happening there?
Nothing was happening. Because I have to use the power pack for the camera, it takes ages for it to turn on. So kind of reaction times are pretty slow, unfortunately. So anyways, there you go. The trials and tribulations. I need to move, but I can't because the sun. I lose the light on the water. So just bracketed, simple. If this turns out to be any good, I'm going to pop it up on the screen for you now. So here's the result of me capturing the last bit of sun. Now I was delighted to see this fisherman moor his boat, and I thought, if there was ever a time I was going to introduce like a human element into a frame, now is it. And I'm super duper delighted with how this one turned out. Again, the vibrancy is just hopping off the screen. The sunset was just burning. It was absolutely wonderful, and the guy just in the frame, he just made the whole thing come together for me so wonderfully. And fair play to these lads, they're out there all day, it would seem, and I'm super duper delighted that I was able to capture this final shot for the evening. Now, I say that, but there are 3 more pictures that I want to show you, which I photographed the following morning. I didn't do any kind of talking to the camera because we were just having a good morning. One, a flamboyance of flamingos. Who would have thought it? There are flamingos here at the Óbidos Lagoon, and I am super duper delighted they were all out having a good chat and getting to know each other. Really love this frame. It's just such a perfect kind of beam of light on them, and it was just so beautiful. And then moving on to, again, trying to introduce this kind of human element into the frame. This fisherman, fair play to him, he was up at the crack of dawn, and this gorgeous rainbow just lit up the sky, and it was such a wonderful scene. And I'm super delighted that I captured this fella out there doing his thing underneath this gorgeous rainbow. And now, as the final image, I managed to kind of get a bit close, and I captured this image. Again, it just tells a bit of a story to him and where he's at, and just the overall sense of the place. So I'm happy that I captured this kind of portrait of this man here. I said hello, but that was about it. And but super duper happy that I managed to capture a nice photograph of him. So really beautiful morning, and one that I'm very happy with. So a good shoot overall. So folks, I think we will just leave it here. What an absolutely wonderful evening this was. Very haphazard and very kind of last minute, but nonetheless, I hope it all worked out for you. You would have seen some pictures. Let's see. But we are going to just enjoy the rest of the evening, have some food, pretty much call it quits on the day. And I think I'm getting bitten by something, so whether we actually sleep here or not remains to be seen. But nonetheless, look at that sky behind us. Isn't that absolutely wonderful? Let's just all enjoy that. As always, these videos are sponsored by Orla and myself. If you're any way inclined to explore any of the beautiful locations I have workshops in, you're most welcome to have a look in the description. You'll find all the links down below. But for now, if you like the video, folks, give it a like. And if you fancy following along for more adventures like this one, you are most welcome to hit that subscribe button. But for now, I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Cheers.